Hey guys, welcome back to the Anime Collector. So we just got some food. Mr. Nice Guy is holding spots for us in Liz and the Bluebird. So I'm gonna go and grab him some food right there at that Mexican place right over here that's part of a car wash.
Hey guys,
we somehow got
this
in.
is going to be a full room. So if you have seats next to you that are empty.
Okay, Liz and the Bluebird. I really need to preface this. So first of all, you've not seen Sound Euphonium. I've not seen Sound Euphonium. Dan has not seen Sound Euphonium. Augie has seen some of it. Now, as you guys know who watch this channel, I exclusively watch shows that I own. And Pony Canyon has released all of Sound Euphonium in these giant collector's editions that will not fit in the bookcase. Ever since I first saw like the promotional artwork for Sound Euphonium, I've been dying to watch the show just to see how they handle the artwork of the brass instruments and whatnot. I've really been interested in seeing it, but I have not yet gotten a chance to watch it. Now at Pony Canyon booth, I happened to notice that they actually have released a sort of more standard sized version of season 2. So I picked that up, but season 1 still has not gotten this treatment. So, and obviously I haven't had time to watch it. I literally bought it like 10 minutes ago, or 5 minutes ago. So anyway, so here's the thing. This is our first impressions. There is a lot to unpack in this movie. Okay, a lot. And I feel like it's one of those things where 2 or 3 watches would probably give a much better analysis, but we're giving you what we've got, okay? So, the first thing I want to say real quick is that I don't play an instrument. Do you play any instruments?
Drums.
Yes.
No. Okay. So, I loved Your Lie in April, but I couldn't tell when the music wasn't good versus when it was perfect. And a big aspect of this is a character holding back, playing the oboe, is that what it was? I am terrible with instruments, but she's holding back, and it's like, I really couldn't tell. So if you play wind instruments and you know what it's supposed to sound like, you are going to enjoy this on a completely different level than I was able to. Anyway, I want to let Augie go because he's going to have to dart out for a raffle in the exhibit hall.
Okay, for me, for this story, you have 2 subplots. You have one subplot that deals with this fairy tale that they checked out from the library. The fable's about someone takes in a child, the 2 joyfully bond, then they have to let go because somehow she's worried. Now then, main plot. 2 characters, we're going to call one Ditzy, we're going to call one Hyper. Hyper is about to go to college. Ditzy doesn't want to let go to her because, as AC said, she's holding back so the 2 can do a duet together.
Because Ditzy is significantly better at playing than Hyper.
Because of that, you're going to see tensions between the 2. Third thing, this is a very artsy movie. If you're going to see it, expect to sit in like an orchestra the whole time. I enjoyed it. I know this isn't for everyone.
You gotta go?
You gotta go.
All right, man.
Cool.
Good luck on the raffle. All right, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was good. The beginning, for me, was a little slow.
So slow that within the first 5 minutes, Dan was fast asleep.
Now, it picked up though. But I do have to say, they did say they paid attention to like the sound effects in the movie.
Yeah.
And they were great. Sometimes a little too much, but great. Like the beginning, the shoe stuff was like really bothering me.
Let's explain real quick. So, the composer for the movie was there, and he set us up to watch the movie very differently than I think most people would have gone into watching it, by mentioning the fact that, by the way, all the sound effects, we recorded them at an actual high school.
Yeah.
You know? So when I heard like the basketball bouncing, it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm in a gym. You know? Like, so if he hadn't said that, I don't think I would have paid attention to it. It wouldn't have been something I'd have been, you know, looking out for.
Same.
So, and then he said something else. Dan, you want to recap what he said about the movie? That you said he was totally right.
He said that the movie was slow paced to the point where you would think that there's no plot. Like, you think there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
But the plot is so subtle that by the end of it, you're like, oh my god, that was amazing.
Yeah, and you're hooked.
But it's like, there's no noticeable shift. It's just like one moment you're falling asleep, the next moment you're hooked.
Yeah, so basically what he said is that it's gonna almost seem like the entire movie's going by and literally nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Right? That's what he said. But really pay attention is what he said, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like the real truth is that the ending is where things actually start to pick up. So
yeah, it was more towards the end.
Yeah, so I feel like if he didn't say that, people would have just been like this the whole time, and then when the movie finally ended, they'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I'd say it was like 60-65% through is really when it started for me.
I felt like 80% through.
Really?
Let me clarify. Before stuff felt like it was happening, not before it was like I was ready to start really focusing on it, because it was hard to focus at the beginning. You know, this is a show that is not dubbed, but would be great if it was, because for Liz and the Bluebird. So I'm basing it being not dubbed off of Sound Euphonium, which is only what they lied to me on Anime News Network. It says English and Japanese language, so I actually am looking forward to. Well, I can't start it because
you can't
only season 2. But yeah, so I'm actually really excited about that. I think that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, this is something I would like to see again dubbed, because I feel like when it is so slow, having to process all the dialogue through reading is so taxing that it puts you to sleep, you know, because it's like nothing is happening and you're just reading. It's like, whoa, you know what I mean?
The visuals are good though.
Yeah,
I do like the visuals.
What I'm saying though,
with music.
What I'm saying though is that if it were dubbed and you were able to effortlessly absorb what the story is, then not only would you have an easier time following it, but you would also be able to appreciate the symbology, the imagery and stuff. You'd be able to pick up on those subtle things a lot more because you're not focused on reading the subtitles as much, right?
Yeah.
So this was directed by the director of A Silent Voice, and based on the way the characters look in Sound Euphonium, I feel as though Liz and the Bluebird, which, by the way, should have started with this, is a spin-off of Sound Euphonium. I should have started with that.
Yeah.
But the art style actually closer resembled A Silent Voice, in my opinion. I felt like it closer to that art style than Sound Euphonium. This felt much flatter compared to what I've seen of the show, and yeah, I mean, it was an interesting ride. Also, something else I want to bring up. One of the things that I really liked about this is because there was the storybook thing where they were
they kind of telling two stories.
It was the main plot was paralleling a children's book, a fictional children's book, I guess, in the story, right? So whenever they were showing an animated feature for juxtaposition purposes of the storybook, it had a different art style. It looked like a watercolor or a pastel, maybe a pastel.
Kind of like this to me it reminded me of, if any of you guys have seen Darling in the Franxx. There's like a book also in that, and anytime they refer to the book, they go to that almost same type of art style.
Okay. Well, so what I'm getting at that I really liked about this is that when they were showing the scenery, it was CGI in the sense that, like, they were using computers in order to do this parallaxing for the buildings. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was an actual three-dimensional object, and they were using, you know, a three-dimensional camera to achieve this dolly. And the watercolor look was beautifully maintained. Last year's Anime Expo, we did a video for Lupin, the Italian game, and that had another thing we sort of talked about where there were some three-dimensional aspects to the backgrounds that looked really painted. This did it, like, even better. Anyway, do you guys have any last thoughts?
I just think it was very good. But like I said, it was a little slow at the beginning. So be patient with it. It will get good.
Well, I would say that if they dubbed this, hopefully they'll dub Liz and the Bluebird, because I really do recommend that if it feels slow to you, switch over to the English track and just absorb it, because it's a lot easier to get through things. Because the thing about the mental taxation of having to read and sort of like that, you're almost in a heightened sense, like a fight or flight sort of sense. Your adrenal glands are sort of pumping, where you are trying to focus and then look down and focus, that if you can, when you're in that state, it feels like stuff drags on forever a lot of times, because you're getting fatigued. So when you can enjoy something dubbed, it allows you to relax more and absorb it easier. So I really do, if you ever feel like something is not gripping you, but you do feel like it would be worth it to get through, to just see if it's got an English dub. Anyway, that's what I thought of it. I thought it was great. I think you guys should definitely check it out, but like I said, it's going to be brutal to get through the beginning if you're not already hooked on the show.
And there are actually some like little bits that have some funny parts in it. It's not like all serious.
There were some good bits. Anyway, you got anything else?
No, I've got nothing.
All right.
It was okay.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Nice Guy, for helping us get in there, because we were at, they almost didn't let us in. Put it that way. We were right on the edge. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and we're gonna try to see Gridman tonight. So hopefully we got another video out. Take it easy. All right, let's check out this dub. Setup. What? There's no dub on here. You lying sacks of shit.